Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of our Attack on Titan podcast or reaction. Today we're covering the episode 61 or season 4 episode 2 named Midnight Train, and I'm Randy and I'm here with Poru and Yaz, and we're going to be getting into discussing the different scenes and different things happening in this little bit of a slower episode, which I think we all probably expected. Is that what you guys thought was coming? A bit of a slower episode moving out of that action-packed episode 1?
Yeah, I anticipated more of a slow burner this episode, especially since the last episode we were thrown into the middle of a war. The Marleyans just finished beating the Middle East Alliance, and in the preview it kind of seemed like they were discussing, celebrating their victory. I'm glad we also got to see more dialogue, more kind of unraveling of what's concerning the Marleyans, what their plan is for the future.
What do you think, Yaz?
Yeah, we definitely needed a slower episode after that, like the fast start of a first episode, while still maintaining like high standards of giving us info, like in this new world. So, like definitely, after an action-packed episode, you have like a couple slower ones, and then maybe pick up back up again later on, while giving more info.
I'm definitely getting kind of season 3 part 1 vibes from this, or maybe season 2 vibes from this, or season 3 part 1 started really quickly, and then it kind of felt like it was moving along in this really interesting way, and we were learning a lot about things, but for a few episodes there, like not a great deal happened. And I definitely think there's some world building to be done in the next few episodes as well. Like they're obviously going to spend not an insignificant amount of time building these characters into the world, and also, I guess, into our hearts, and getting us to, I guess, like the characters that we like or hate the characters that we hate.
Yeah, I think season 3 part 1, it's like episode 1 of season 4 was comparable to Levi versus Kenny, and now the rest kind of just world building, like in season 3 part 1 revealing that the king may be a fraud and Eren might get eaten, and now we're realizing the world is kind of closing in on Marley. Like, even though Marley defeated the Middle East Alliance, they destroyed their fleet, the Armored Titan was nearly obliterated, and if the Armored Titan didn't step in, the Beast Titan definitely would have been obliterated. So
yeah, so it's a bit of a precarious position that Marley finds themselves in. I thought one of the most interesting parts of that first scene was that they were in a building that had no roof. Like, why were they having such an important meeting in a building like that? It kind of added to this feeling that that they're in a bit of, like, they're just not as dominant as what I guess we always thought the Marleyans were.
Yeah, and I think
go ahead, Poro. Sorry.
And I think it's like interesting that you bring that up, because when this episode starts off, they're not in their hometown of Liberio, correct? So they're talking about their war plans, their plans for the future, but they're not at their home base yet.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Yaz?
I was just gonna make fun of them, like why are they singing in a room with no roof? And they're like, one of them mentioned like if we don't hurry up and get the founder, then the rest of the world will like improve their airships, and they're gonna drop bombs on us, and like the power of the Titans will not even compete. They all just looked up. I'm like, why are these idiots just looking up at the ceiling? They're like, oh, there's no ceiling.
Yeah, it was poignant. It wasn't just oh, they're sitting in a room with no roof. They really made a point of that. They really made a point of it.
But then they can do the same thing to Paradise Island. They can just drop bombs on them. Like, what is the attack and the Colossal gonna do?
I don't know. I'm honestly I'm honestly I don't understand why they're not using military might on Paradise. And
So, yeah, I think the reason why, and I think they kind of hint at this in the first kind of discussion with Marlians and Zeke, is their, like, typical weapons, their actual, like, tanks, aircraft, I think is actually not as developed as the rest of the world. So I think in episode 1, when they were kind of informing the audience, like, oh, our aircraft, our navy, our army, everything is superior, I think that was actually a bit of propaganda, because when these, like, war generals are discussing, they're saying, the rest of the world has actually surpassed us in these typical weapons. Like how we've fallen since, the time where Titans reigned supreme. I think they probably focused too much on Titan warfare, and now they're lacking behind in other aspects.
Yeah, that's definitely what this meeting felt like. I was wondering whether it was I was wondering whether it was more that they, everyone's military might was catching up to, like, the Titan power, but it did really seem like that. That was the thought that I had, that these guys have probably been a bit complacent because they've had the power of the Titans, so they've not developed the tech required. And now they're kind of moving into this new world where all these other countries, and now soon they're all going to hear that, or they already have heard all over the papers, that the Armored Titan, basically got fucked up. And now there's going to be, they literally said that there's a lot of, like, it's exactly what happened in the last episode. There's blood in the water, and I guess that's where Zeke then comes in and says, we need to buy time for us to be able to develop our military to get up to scratch. Therefore, we can do that by taking Paradise Island, getting the resources, and also getting the founding Titan back.
Yeah, so I think their plan is now to just to buy time. They'll have to go into Paradise, risk, I guess, another failure, because they failed 4 years ago, to get the founding Titan. But I'm curious, because, maybe I'm forgetting, or maybe it wasn't explained clearly. The founding Titan basically has the ability to release the, I guess, like, million Titans on Paradise Island to flatten the Earth, right? That's the power that they're seeking.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
They're seeking the founding Titan's power, who can control all Titans. I don't know if the 8 other Titan shifters are included in those Titans, but there are millions of others he can use.
And so if the million Titans are in the walls, right? That's what, the like prophecy was. All those Titans are like borderline, like, colossal Titan height.
Yes.
Like, they're not normal Titans. Like, all of them seem to have the power of, like, possibly a Titan shifter.
I don't know if they have the power of a Titan shifter or they're just really big Titans, but I mean, either way, I don't know if that's that scary of a proposition anymore. If they can drop bombs everywhere, it doesn't matter how big a Titan is. You drop a bomb on its nape, it's probably gonna die. So I'm a bit like I'm wondering how much. Like, I think it's as much propaganda as anything. Being able to say they have all 9 Titans again is going to be a massive play for Marley geopolitically, to sort of get everyone to back off a little bit while they build their own armadas. I also think, and we'll get into this towards talking about the last scene, but I think that Zeke has an ulterior motive to going back there. I don't know what it is, but I think he's got an ulterior motive. And also the other interesting thing came up in that scene about Zeke was that, like, the royal blood thing. Does he know that he's got royal blood? And it definitely seemed from, I think, when he was taking Colt outside for a cigarette, that he was trying to, like, not say, like it seems Marley. And now that I think about it, when it got to season 3 part 2, remember when we were learning about everything and Grisha was at the wall and the owl, like, silenced him from saying that Dinah had royal blood? So I don't think the Marleyans know that he's got royal blood.
Oh.
Okay, what we are sure of the Marleyans don't know that Zeke has royal blood. What we
Yes.
don't know for sure
Is
is if Zeke knows. Either he knows and he's bluffing, or he actually doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so that
Had
was
not-
a really... Sorry, go Potter.
Yeah, no, that you bring that up. Like, I had completely forgot that. Yeah, the owl silenced Grisha before he outed the fact that, Zeke's mom was a royal. So, yeah, it's very interesting. Like, I would assume Zeke would know his mom is royal blood, or at least maybe thought of that as, like, how else would he be able to change, normal humans into Titans? But, if it seems like the rest of the people don't know. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting. He's playing, like, a double agent kind of role here.
Yeah, and so what I found interesting there was, like, why did he say in front of the Marleyans that I don't know if Colt is going to be able to inherit the full power of the Beast Titan? And does he know that maybe a normal Beast Titan cannot turn humans into Titans? Like, is that his royal blood, or is that the Beast Titan that can do that? Like, which like, and what does he actually understand about his own power?
I'm gonna have to guess it's royal blood.
Yeah, I'm also opinion that it's royal blood, and I guess since we're already talking about Zeke, it is interesting that he seems like he was called the Golden Boy, right, by fake Hitler in the beginning of the episode when they were having that discussion.
Mustacheless Hitler.
Yeah, so it seems like to the Marleyans, he has a high, level of like ranking. He's able to tell the Marleyans, like, listen, I think we should go invade Paradise, and he's not immediately shut down as just being an Eldian. He's
a war chief.
Yeah, he's a war chief. So, and then also, like, if you combine that with the fact that he seems to also be hiding something from them, like, it seemed like he was going to tell Colt something informative, but then he just kind of falls back and says, oh, I have a secret technique for wiping my ass, right? And it seemed as if that he knew, maybe that they were being listened, like someone was listening on their conversation, and that's why he kind of pulled back, or, he didn't want to give that information out in the open where Marleyans could hear them. But it seems like he is playing kind of a double role here.
Yeah, which was confirmed, I thought, in the last scene. I thought, which we'll get to when we get towards the end of the podcast and have a chat about that. The next scene, was there anything else you guys picked up from that first war meeting scene, other than those kind of talking points that we've just gone over? Is there anything else that you noticed that you wanted to talk about?
Yes.
I'm just looking through it real quick. Good talk.
Yeah. I guess, like, one thing is they have a 1-year time limit to conquer Paradise Island. So I guess it kind of gives you the sense of urgency. Like, we need to, go in, complete this mission, and get out. Like, we can't risk losing any more Titans, any more, like, military personnel on this island. It has to be in a year.
Yeah.
And that's because, going back to the dock scene, Zeke has less than a year left on his Titan powers.
Yeah.
Does that also mean Reiner has less than a year? Or are they after?
No, Reiner is after. I think they said that he has like 3 years, I believe. Also, he said the Commander Magath, his name, he said like there's like 30-something ships that went to the island of Paradise that never came back.
Oh, yeah.
How many ships are you gonna lose before you learn? Like, what? Like 32 is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think they learned their lesson after, like, the first 5 or 10 didn't come back.
Can we also agree that those ships are most likely not sunk?
Yes.
They're now definitely, we've got scouts with ships.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have a whole fleet
True.
now.
They have a fleet of ships. Imagine Levi like standing at the front of a ship, and you've got 32 ships coming towards you, and Levi's just standing on one of them.
Yeah, the word captain now has a new meaning.
And Hanji's just going to be like, oh my god, I want to know exactly how the fuck these things work. Imagine if she figures it out and then oh my god, imagine if they realize how all the shit works and then they realize they've got all of the fossil fuels and like Eren knows that they've got all of the resources underneath the island. Imagine if they figure out how to use everything and then all of a sudden the Eldians become like a technological superpower.
Yeah, I 100% think that's like kind of the path they're going down. I don't think there'll be a superpower right off the bat, but I definitely think Hanj is like, you know, reverse engineering these ships and they're gonna come out with, you know, some awesome warfare. And you already have Jean, right, on the island. That means they probably already developed something to get him there, right?
Or they used the ship.
Yeah, maybe he used a ship, maybe he used something else.
Yeah, I definitely agree that's why, like, they're definitely going to have some badass armor, like upgraded ODM kits and stuff like that. Like, there's definitely going to be some improvements to at least their current gear as a result of, like, seeing all this steel and, like, how energy, you know, like, how, like, heat can make energy and, like, power a whole ship. Like, if it can do that, like, what else can they do with it?
Colossal Titan gets tech buffs.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
The Colossal Titan has armor.
Yeah, that's something that I only just really thought of that. Like, imagine, like, they've definitely not sunk those ships. I reckon they've used those ships to come back to the continent too.
If they do have ships, is launching like a naval attack head on the best way?
No, they'll be quite strategic about it, I think.
Definitely think we'll see more flying titans when they do attack. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So then we see Reiner waking up and he's having a nightmare. And it kind of cuts from Zeke. I think it was Zeke kind of thinking, oh, but like, you know, the ships or like the Titans are not the only problem that we have like them. Then there was Zeke having the nightmare of...
And then...
the Ackermans.
And then it cuts to the Ackermans. Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes me think, like, I was actually thinking this during the week. Like, I think that the Ackermans, and I was thinking about how last week, you know, we're having this conversation, and I just love. The week before we're talking about me loving Mikasa, and I'm saying that her arc's not fully complete. I was actually thinking I don't really feel like the Ackerman arc is anywhere near done. I think the Ackerman arc is going to be big in season 4, and I think that's where Mikasa's going to get some like big character development. I think the Ackerman thing has kind of been glossed over a little bit of like, oh, they used to be the bodyguards of like the elder of the royal family, and then they were like sent out to the sent out and like ostracized. And I'm wondering, like, the Ackermans and the Orientals, like, they don't seem like are they Eldians? Are they even what the like, who are they? I reckon there's a lot in the art, like, just as like a complete like random thought train. I reckon that the Ackermans there's going to be a lot going on with them in season 4.
One theory I had about the Ackermans, you know how all Eldians are connected to the founding Titan and like they get their memories lost, they get random memories sometimes.
Yeah.
But then the Ackermans, they're not affected by this.
Yeah.
So are they not connected to the founder? Therefore, are they not Eldians?
Yeah, exactly.
That's one theory.
Exactly. And why are they so just hectic?
Yeah, I'm really curious to what the source of their power is. Like, why are they so much more powerful than like normal humans? Obviously, they were hired to protect the Eldians. But like, would Eldians hire non-Eldians to protect their royal blood? That seems, counterintuitive, especially considering how even like their own kind is kind of at a civil war with themselves.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely something to answer there. What were you going to say, Yaz?
No, I'm done.
So anyway, that was just a random thought bubble that I had. But yeah, so then Reiner wakes up and Galliard is in the room. What did you guys make of this scene? And also, like, we meet Peek, the cart titan.
Yeah.
can speak.
So, yeah, Galliard, he seems, we obviously saw him in action, and, like, for me, I said that he seemed like the most competent out of the Titans, like, combat-wise last episode. He was a beast. And as a human, he kind of radiates just like, I'm about this life, I want to kill all, the enemies of, our kind. And he kind of gives Reiner a verbal thrashing, like, listen, if I was the Armored Titan, this would already be over. Paradise would already be ours. Like, you're trash, and my brother died, saving you. And, we learned that Marcel was Galliard's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought this was I thought this was I just love how connected these guys are. They're so like I didn't really like. Obviously later we learn about Reiner and Gabby. Like they're all so connected, and I definitely agree with you. Galliard does seem.
Still don't know why Marcel let Ymir eat him. Like he or Reiner or anyone there could have transformed and saved him. They just let her. They just let her eat him.
Yeah. I'm gonna put that one. Go, Potter.
I guess, there are like two ways of looking at it. Cause like I definitely see from Yaz's like point of view, like, okay, these guys are Titan shifters. Like they easily could have just stomped the shit out of any Titan just by like, biting their thumb. So like there are two options. Like one, we have to like suspend kind of our disbelief and like just be like, they were caught by surprise. It was quick. He just got eaten. Or two, maybe, like we were talking about with all Eldians being connected, they could kind of see the future. Maybe Marcel saw something and, thought that was the best course of action. I'm leaning more towards they were just caught by surprise, and Marcel, being the good guy he was, just saved Reiner and threw himself in and got eaten. But it's an interesting thought.
Yeah,
kind of
I'm
like
putting
Falco.
Kind of like Falco.
Like how how nice Falco is. Like Falco's the kind of guy to save someone else while sacrificing himself. Maybe Galliard sees Falco as like Marcel in a way.
Wait, dude, I think so. Like this actually is like just like a couple scenes after, like as Reiner and Galliard are still talking, but Galliard, as he's like verbally thrashing Reiner, he says, "You stole the good guy act from Marcel." So it seems Reiner may have put on this like big brother act because he was inspired by Marcel. I guess he was kind of the big brother to Reiner back when they were kids. And I thought that was like a really interesting thing that like, Reiner felt like kind of inspired, I guess, and adopted this act from his dead friend.
Yeah, I think that was interesting, and it's the I guess the macro of that was to show that even though they're all warriors, they're not. There's complexities to their relationships.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd probably just put that down. I put that down to like one of those. Attack on Titan is usually better at this than most other anime, but I do find that sometimes there's little like logic jumps in animes where like you think that shouldn't have happened given they had these powers, therefore like why didn't they? I think it's just one of those things where to progress the story or to have the story go the way they wanted, that was how they came up with like what was going to happen. But I don't know if there was a real reason for it. I think there's a little bit of a plot, like a logic gap in what happened there that just doesn't make sense, but you kind of just have to accept that it doesn't make sense. And that actually doesn't happen often in Attack on Titan, whereas usually in an anime, you can pick apart like a lot of different things that don't make sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm sure, I have a feeling later on, most, if not all things will make sense of what we've seen. And like at this point, we're in a part of the story where everything being said and even done has a meaning. Either it calls back previous events, calls back a memory, foreshadowing, foresight, maybe even world building, and Like all those stuff. Like everything being said is important at this point.
Yeah, I definitely agree, which is pretty much why we're almost doing this, like line for line of what they're saying.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of Peak? I thought she was cool. Like, obviously she was pretty banged up, but I thought I reckon she's going to be a cool character.
She looks depressed while smiling.
That, and also she was in her Titan form for 2 months.
For 2 months.
I didn't pick that up. So what? Like, yeah, I didn't. I just must have missed that line. So I saw you said that, Peru. What? So what got said? How did you pick that up?
Yeah, so basically, when she comes in, she's kind of on her crutches, and she says, like, she's pooped. It feels so long since I've been human. I was in Titan form for 2 months. Like, she forgot to stand upright, is what she said after that. Because, like, 4 feet.
So that's why she's on crutches?
Yeah, I think that may be, like, one of the reasons why.
Because I didn't see her get shot or anything.
Yeah, she said she's been in her Titan form for 2 months. She forgot how to walk, so she's using crutches.
That's really interesting, hey, because remember when Eren would first become a Titan, or like the longer you stay in Titan, the more like it kind of takes over like your face and body. Remember like when Eren first learned how to become a Titan, he was very inexperienced, and he'd end up being like almost covered by like the red strands of like the Titan muscle.
Yeah.
So she's obviously, like, to be able to stay in it for 2 months, obviously some training's happened.
Yeah, and it's also, I guess, interesting, the capabilities of these Titans. I guess this just illustrates more that, like, based on each Titan, they're different. Like, there's no way the Colossal Titan can be in form for 2 months. Like, that would just be impossible, right? Because, like, the steam makes the Colossal Titan just super skinny. But it seems like, the Cart Titan is able to maintain its transformation for a lot longer, so maybe, the capabilities are different. Maybe the Cart Titan can't do as much, when it is a Titan. I don't know. But it's definitely interesting that these Titans can last different, amounts of time.
I didn't think about that, but that also explains why the Cart Titan was the scout in Season 3, Part 2.
Yep. Yeah.
Because it could maintain that form, come back and tell Zeke, who had not transformed because he can't maintain the Beast Titan for as long, and then he knows to prep and plan so that when he does transform, it's like game time.
Yeah, the Cart Titan seems like the best at traveling long distances, like a horse maybe. It's also the only other Titan shifter we've seen that can talk as a Titan shifter other than the Beast Titan, which is also interesting.
Really?
Is in Season 3, Part 2, it said it said War Chief Zeke, the scouts are coming.
Yeah, no, have we not seen any of the other Titans talk other than Zeke?
No, I'm pretty sure the Beast Titan's the only one.
Yeah, we haven't.
No, Ymir did talk.
Ymir.
Oh no, wait, yeah. So the Jaw Titan said something to Historia.
Yeah, it said,
couldn't talk that much.
Okay, never mind. Maybe all Titans can talk to a
all
point.
Titan shifters.
But the Beast Titan is the most fluent.
Yeah, 100%. I reckon I'm gonna really like Peak as a character, and I'm gonna say that the Cart Titan is my least favorite Titan so far, and I'm quite sad that she's the Cart Titan because I feel like she's gonna have a really cool character, and I'm wondering if I'm gonna get to the end and feel that it suited her to be the Cart Titan, and I'm gonna have more appreciation for the Cart Titan. But at the moment, I'm kind of like, damn, she's cool and she's the Cart. That makes me a bit sad. I'm really interested to see how her character develops. Really interesting.
Yeah. I think, like, just from first impressions, I can see why they kind of chose her personality type. She seems to be, despite being an LD and despite being, like, in war for so long, she seems very gentle, very empathetic. Like, she was telling Galliard, stop beating up on Reiner. He just came off of, a pretty bad injury in battle.
Yeah.
So, like, her being supportive personality-wise, it makes sense that her Titan isn't really, like, an attack, like a war kind of Titan. It's more of like a support kind of Titan. Like it brings stuff. It it can help others.
Yeah.
Maybe she's also the most patient, because 2 months as a Titan shifter puts a lot of pressure, a lot of burden, and also like you miss your human form a lot. So she's probably the most patient out of all of them.
Yeah. Oh, and
Also from this scene,
no worries.
we get confirmation that 9 years ago, yes, the founding Titan operation retake like started with Reiner, Bertolt, Annie, and Marcel. It started 9 years ago, and from this scene we know Reiner got his Titan powers 9 years ago as well. So I don't know how long they gave them to train as their respective Titans before going on this mission.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, and that would explain why, the level gap, I guess, between Reiner's Titan and like Eren's Titan isn't really like Eren is better with his Titan, it seems, because he's been able to train out in the public, whereas Reiner, I guess, didn't have that much training before going off in his undercover mission, and then obviously in his mission he couldn't really train.
Which is very weird, because Reiner and his friends, they can't train inside the walls. Where are they gonna train? Just like Eren, they have to figure it out on themselves, which makes no sense why Marley would do this.
Yeah, you would think they'd have like at least they probably had like, very brief training before being sent. But yeah, that is like you would think they'd have maybe like a year or two under their belt before going sent on this mission.
But no, like it's less than a year.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
When they got it before they got sent, but explaining the Titan you're gonna inherit and their powers, what they can do, what they cannot do, it's not as good as actually training with the Titan that you have. So they have to inherit, train, and then go.
Yeah. Well, maybe inheriting the Titan already gives you some level of, training just because you have those memories.
I think from watching how Eren was,
you
definitely need to become. You need to become accustomed to using it. Otherwise, I think watching Eren and how he dealt with being the attack Titan to start with shows that you need to spend. It's almost like it's a numbers game. It's 10,000 hours. The more time you spend working within the Titan, not even just like learning the techniques of how to use it, but just spending time as the Titan helps you become more proficient at controlling it and using it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Also, just like a little tidbit, Peak called Galliard Poco. So I don't know if maybe that's like a pet name. Are they,
I thought she said Porco.
I have Poco in my notes, but like regardless, it seems like they have some kind of maybe not like a relationship per se, but they're definitely like maybe closer than the others.
I think they've come from they're later. I think Pekin, obviously Galliard only just inherited the Jaw Titan 4 years ago. I think Peak so she was a Cart Titan prior. So I wonder how long she has had. Her Titan powers for. But I feel like they came from like a cohort that were different to Reiner, and like we get on like she wasn't a part of that initial like crew that was Annie, Marcel, Reiner, and Bertolt. Like if we move on to the next scene, it was for the docks. We actually saw those four. So I think Peak is like younger than Reiner and probably more in Galliard's like kind of time frame.
We don't know.
It seemed like, I don't know, to me it seemed like maybe she was older, but I think she's probably had her Titan maybe for less time.
Than who? Than Reiner?
Then possibly Reiner.
Yeah, she's definitely older than. I think she could be older than. I think she's probably in the mid. I don't know, because I just never pick animes. I reckon she's probably like 18 to 20. I don't think she's older than Reiner.
I have no
sure,
idea.
though.
They didn't even give a clue on how old she is or how long she had the Titan for.
Yeah.
I guess just her look like makes her look older.
Yeah.
Also,
What'd you guys-
Galliard saw Ymir's memories for a bit and saw that Reiner was losing his mind back on the island. It's like, what are you doing? But then he didn't get to answer that because the girl walked in. What's her name? Peak,
yeah. What did you guys think of... I reckon the next few scenes kind of like had one... had a like, obviously the train, we got Reiner and Falco talking, but then the next, as a way of rolling these scenes together and just picking out the important parts. I thought the dock scene, the train, and then Liberio, one of the things that we really got from those three put together was this sense of they're really trying to build a... It's character building, it's world building, and it's building a sense of camaraderie between the Eldians. You know, like first we see the four down at the dock, and then they all come and, like, you know, Gabby gives Reiner a big hug, and we obviously find out later that they're related. And then on the train, you know, we see Colt and everyone like laughing and having fun, and then Liberio. I thought the scene where they reunited was like beautiful. I thought that was really, really, it drew comparisons to when the scouts would come home as well, which I thought was really interesting. The one thing that I thought of the dock scene, Reiner said something about, like, you should not go in that shop. They tried to run away from him, and then he stopped them from going in once he had a like flashback of him, Annie, Bertolt, and Marcel. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah, like Reiner telling them you shouldn't go to that part of town or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't too sure what that was, actually.
I don't know if we were supposed to, but it was definitely a Reiner being Reiner thing and just having one of his flip outs. But I thought it was it was a really cool comparison. I know that you made a note on this as well, Podu, like the comparison between Reiner's crew and this new young crew. And I thought they were actually about to make a comparison. He was going to see them as like Mikasa, Armin, Eren and stuff, because that's the comparison everyone was making in the first episode. But now he actually is comparing them to him when he was younger.
Yeah, I know. I love the fact that they're kind of bringing back the OG, like, you know, Bert, Annie, Reiner. Like, I like seeing them, you know, even if it's in a flashback. I'm liking these comparisons. And it's kind of interesting. So, like, Reiner obviously has, you know, some PTSD of his own. And I guess this segues into the train scene. Although he is adamant, like, you know, you have to respect Marley, you gotta, you know, you should be honored to be one of the 9 Titans, you should be fighting for it, he's telling Falco. At the same time, he doesn't want Eldians to just solely be used as weapons of war. And you kind of see in the train, the Eldians, Colt is kind of rallying the troops saying, you guys didn't have to die because Gabby, you know, put her life on the line to save you. Like, they're all, like, the Eldians, even in their unfortunate circumstance, they're trying to stick together, they're trying to save each other. And I think Reiner, you know, talking to Falco in the corner of the train saying, like, even though he's, at first, it seemed like, hey, you can never disrespect, you know, being one of the 9 Titans, he's like, try to save Gabby. Yeah, so what did you guys think about that scene?
Save Gabby from what, though? Is it the future that he and Bertold, Annie, and Marcel faced? Maybe when they went to war as children?
Yeah, I think it's like the, you know, tragedy of actually becoming a Titan. You only have, what, like 13 years to live. Those 13 years are probably not going to be fun. You're going to get, you know, you're going to be warring for a majority of those years. So I think he was talking about that fate.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting how he flipped from, you know, saying you should be humbled to be a Titan, and then kind of like let his guard down and got vulnerable and kind of said, but yo, like, I don't want Gabby to be in this life, so you need to fucking get the armored Titan instead of her. Kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's interesting, right? Because, like, this is kind of why I wanted to bring up, you know, the idea of Falco versus Gabby. Gabby I think to everyone, like audience in the show, is more qualified to become a Titan, right? She has tactics, she has skills, she has like, the desire to fight, and strategically, she would probably be, a more effective weapon as a Titan. But it seems like Falco, just like from the way the kind of dialogue has been and the animation, Falco seems to be more of like the protagonist of the group. Like he's more caring. He had the like that weird dream at episode 1. Reiner is saying we should save Gabby, implying that, Reiner being the old Armored Titan, probably Falco being the future Armored Titan. It seems that like the scale is tipping into Falco's favorite becoming the Armored Titan, despite Gabby being such an overwhelming favorite.
What do you think, Yaz?
To be fair, I wasn't paying attention. I was watching the scene.
Who Gabby versus Falco as Armored Titan?
Fairly obvious. Gabby's the one that will inherit it. And like Falco, I would say a close second, but maybe he's further back than second.
Yeah, I have this weird thing about Falco right now. Like, okay, so there's a couple of things. I thought, one, I think Yaz last week in the ED, you mentioned that so much of it like was Falco, and I was like, that's so true. So much of it's Falco, which means I really think he's going to be super important in the story. And the other thing I can't get out of my head is that he had memories of being a scout and flying around, and like, I don't know what that means yet. I'm trying to work out like if like he's getting memories from somewhere, and I'm like, I've been thinking about this one. He's getting memories from somewhere, right? And okay, so Zeke said in this episode that Colt will inherit his memories. So I think that means we can like either assume one of two things. He's going to inherit the memories of someone he's going to inherit the memories of someone. So there's no doubt in my mind that Falco is going to become a Titan. Like, no doubt. He's going to become a Titan shifter. I think he's like, and the fact that he's getting memories in the future of the past or of something that has, or like, it's not linear. That makes me think it's coordinate related. And coordinate related takes me to Eren. But that doesn't make any sense right now. So I don't really understand what I'm talking about when it comes to Falco. But I have like a weird thing that he is somehow linked to the coordinate in some way. Because I haven't seen, I don't understand. And I don't know if that means he becomes the shapeshifter. Like if he becomes the Armored Titan, does that mean he can take in the coordinate? Like I'm honestly, I'm really confused by Falco at the moment. I'm really confused. I think that I'm probably saying Gabby is more likely to become the Armored Titan at this point in time. However, and that's because I don't know what's going on with Falco. Like I think he could. I honestly don't know what's going on with Falco right now. He's confusing me.
Maybe Gabby gets the armored, and then Falco gets the armored right after by eating Gabby.
Falco
That's
just
how he
eats
becomes
Gabby.
one.
Falco just eats Gabby straight away. But I want to understand the significance of that memory, and also the significance of the memory, because remember how it was. Oh my god! Wait. So that scene. That first scene was so similar to Eren's first scene, but was Eren even a Titan in that very first episode yet? He wasn't a Titan, but was he having memories that were flash forwarded to him because of paths? Was Eren having a path situation in that very first scene of episode 1? Therefore, he was going to become the Attack and the Founding Titan. Therefore, he was having the... But there's no way Falco becomes...
the armor.
I don't know. I think I'm going way too far. I'm going way too far into this right now.
Maybe Gabby dies and Falco's the only one left to inherit it.
No, I'm on a different wavelength right now, bro. I'm on the wavelength of like what? Why is he having such a similar experience to Eren?
Yeah,
that's what
This is
I'm
what
on
like
that
I was
wavelength.
kind of referencing in like the first episode, like the parallels between like Eren's dream and Falco's dream, and like I think when you brought up, right, like Eren had those dreams before he was a Titan, right? Like he was nothing special when he had those dreams, but
exactly.
Obviously, we know like he becomes the Attack Titan and the Founding Titan. So I think, like Yaz, I know you're of the opinion Gabby becomes the Armored Titan, and I think that makes more sense. But like the way the plot is just shaping up, I think Falco's gonna be like the chosen one. I think he's gonna become the Armored Titan, and I don't know
like
they're gonna make that decision. But I think
what I'm trying to say is, what if he becomes the Founding Titan?
That would be a good surprise.
I think that.
Like that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say there's too much going on between those two.
The memories Eren got in episode 1 of the series were future memories. Is Falco getting future memories as well, not past memories? Like
I don't know.
I think he's getting past memories.
Like maybe in the future someone is actually fighting a Titan with ODM gear and swords still. And he's getting their memories.
Outdated at that point.
I think the question is more like whose memories is he having?
This is gonna sound crazy, but at this point, Eldians, they're fighting Marlians and like they're fighting people and Titan shifters. Don't think they would still be using swords, but like they're using guns and like stuff and that. So swords are out of the question. But there's one person that would still be using swords at this point.
Levi?
Yeah.
So, but the theory...
He's not going to eat Levi.
So the theory that I'm thinking... Okay, so the reason I'm thinking
Falco's
it's
getting
technically...
Levi's memories.
What am I thinking here? Fuck. I'm thinking that because even though it could be technically a past memory for whoever had that memory, it's a future memory for Falco because he doesn't have the ability to have that memory yet. Because he's not a Titan shifter yet. So he's getting that memory flashing back to him from there, from when he's a Titan shifter, and he knows that.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think, like, I don't think the Founding Titan is the only way to kind of get those future and, like, past memories, right? Like, the Owl also had a future memory when he was just the Attack Titan. Right?
Oh,
About, like,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
So, I think... Yeah, so I think the memory of, like, oh, they're Titans and I'm like, flying through the air, I think that's gonna be Reiner, dude. I think he's gonna eat... The only thing is, like, why would they not pick Gabby? But I guess that'll be revealed, later on, what happens to her.
Yeah, wait. Reiner was a scout. He was fighting Titans with swords.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. That's what I was just thinking. I still think there's something weird between Eren and Falco. I just think those two scenes were way too similar. But I don't know. I really don't know. And I think that actually makes a lot more sense. Like, yeah, so I forgot the Owl wasn't the Founding Titan as well as the Attack Titan. That makes a lot of sense. Fuck, that makes me wonder, like, if this series keeps going, like, over a chronological period of time, like, what actually is, like, does Eren just fucking die? I wonder what happens to Eren. Anyway, that's way off the point of this episode.
So we
okay. Well, I hope Falco does not eat Gabby, because I love Gabby. Fuck, you know what? I'm putting my hand up. I actually don't know.
What if none of them get it?
What if Udo or Zofia?
No
Odo is
chance.
like
Dude. They're not
No
relevant
chance.
enough.
Yeah.
Odo is like an Armin. It's like an Armin wannabe.
Yeah. He's an Armin wannabe, and then the other girl's an Annie wannabe.
Yeah.
Okay. Next point we talked too much about. Okay.
Yeah. So I think the next thing we kind of covered the train in that discussion. I
Also,
think
this episode is ill named because it says midnight train. We spent 3 minutes in the train and then 30 seconds getting out of the train. That's it.
Yeah. But I recorded some of the conversation that Reiner was having with the family. So we'll have a discussion about that. Just real quick though, as he's talking about, his time there, his family's questioning him, like, oh, what were they like? He kind of like warps the narrative, says they're all evil, and then like mentions like individual people. So I want to see if you guys can get each person.
Okay. Wait, yeah.
Okay. So, first person, pretty obvious. The girl who offered half of her potato.
Browse.
Yes, that's Sasha.
Yep. Next, the moron who forgot why he came to the bathroom.
Connie?
Was it? I don't know.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's the only moron I know.
Yeah, I wanted to like ask guys. I think it's Connie too, because that just seems like something he would do. But I don't remember a scene where he like goes to the bathroom then forgets why he went there.
It's either. It's like I can think of 4, but Connie's probably 1.
Yeah, I think Connie is like the most like stupid out of all of them.
Most sus.
Yeah. All right, the next. The irresponsible guy who thought only about himself.
John. Right? Yeah,
Randy?
John wanted to live in the interior.
Is he irresponsible? Yeah. I would assume John. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it has to be Jean because he was like in the beginning at least he was talking about, oh, I don't care about anything. I want to like just get to the military police, make sure I'm safe, make sure I'm living lavishly, and that was it.
Also a hothead.
Yeah. The next one, the straight-laced dumbass who thought of everyone but himself.
Historia.
Randy, do you have any ideas?
Oh, I'm not saying Historia there. I'm gonna say. I keep thinking
Armin?
Marco. I keep thinking
Dude,
Marco.
I think Marco
Armin.
too.
Yeah, I reckon it's
Marco too.
it's Marco.
We didn't
And I
see
think
enough of
it makes
Marco. What did he
sense.
do?
It makes sense that Reiner's bringing up Marco because Marco's literally the man who like made this dude like tear himself in two. Like when Reiner betrayed Marco, that like really ate at his conscience.
Yeah.
Like yeah, as in like in regards of guess like what like did Marco do? I think like in the beginning of the series it was kind of shown that he would like try to help like Jean become a better leader, like random people just like I don't know, he seemed like a very good guy.
I'm thinking more Historia. But if you say Marco, it's also fine.
Yeah. And then I think the next two are pretty obvious. An idiot who would charge into any situation, and the two who would follow him through anything.
Yeah. So Aaron and then Mikasa Namas.
Yeah. Yeah, like I would think like the straight-laced dumbass who thought of everyone but himself, like I was thinking maybe that could also be Armin, but then after that line I was like, okay, Armin.
I feel like it's more Historia than Marco because Historia is more mainstream than Marco. Also, Historia is still alive.
Yeah, you could be right.
I'm really, really leaning towards Historia.
And also Reiner wanted to marry her. I feel like Reiner would have. I don't know. Actually, I'm saying Marco because I don't think he would say a bad word about Historia. I think he's too in love. I think he would
And
have
also,
admitted her.
yeah, and also it's kind of like cheating, but like he said, who thought of everyone but himself. So.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, himself.
Okay.
Yeah. That may be
So-
a translation thing, but yeah, in my sub it said himself, I think.
So I'm just going to point out while we're on this scene that I called last week that Gabby's going to be on the side of justice, and I can see her flipping to whichever side ends up being good, and you see her face when she realizes that Reiner's like kind of trying to make these guys seem bad but also humanizing them, and she's like, wait, are these guys actually devils? Like, are you like, can they be good? I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be something, like, she's flipping somewhere. I don't know where, I don't know how, I don't know with who, but she's flipping somewhere, and I still think it's gonna be onto Erin's team, or Erin's flipping onto her team, or something's going on there.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Gabby.
Gabby's flipping, joining Eren?
Yeah,
Well, I said that.
About this, man.
I said that last week, and then she brings up the first time anything gets moderately humanized, and that's why her mum freaked out and was like to Reiner, oh no, and then said no, they're all bad, because she didn't want that conversation to continue, because she didn't want Gabby to start thinking maybe these people are real people who have hearts and feelings and souls. I'm telling you right now, she's going to come to empathize and sympathize with the island Eldians, or like there's going to be some meeting in the middle of some people, and she's going to end up on a different team with those people. I can't, like I said last week, I don't know which team is going to end up being right or wrong, but now with Zeke looking like he's doing some shady shit, it's telling me there's going to be like there's shit going on, and I'm telling you right now, Gabby is going to be on the side of justice and probably not on the same team that she is right now. And she's going to be with Eren.
Everywhere.
She's with Eren.
Yeah, so Randy is definitely, to be fair, like Randy did shout this out last week that he thought Gabby would be, switching sides to Eren. And her face when
Or Eren switching sides to her.
People to like Eren's side. That's what you were saying, right? Like, you thought Gabby would switch sides to Eren's side.
Yeah, like, I don't know which side's going to end up being the good side, but Gabby's going to be on the good side.
Yeah.
Which side is the good side exactly?
I don't know. That's what I don't know yet. I'm now starting to think we don't know the good side, because I have a feeling, and I've got to go in 5 minutes, so I'm just going to throw my random theory out there. I've got a weird feeling that Gabby's going to end up on the same side at the good side. I think Eren's going to end up on that side somehow. And then I just think Zeke's going to start his own fucking people. Zeke's doing some weird shit right now. I think Zeke is going to end up with all 9 Titans on Paradise, and that's why he's trying to get all the Titans over there so that he can form his own little thing. And I don't know whether that's in conjunction with the Scouts, because he doesn't seem like he's on the Scout team, but he's definitely not on the Marleyans team. So he's trying to get the 9 Titans over there. Probably knows how to use the resources. I don't know, but there's something going on, and there's a team or a side that we don't even know yet.
Yeah, so I guess I'll say real quick, I thought it was nice that Gabby kind of was shook that this idea that, Eldians on the island, there were different kinds of people, but at the same time, you're an Eldian. Like, if you can be good, surely the island Eldians can also be good. So I think, like, they're very thoroughly brainwashed. But Randy, before you go, I wanted to bring up the last meeting with Zeke and the other Eldians.
This is for you.
So
Warhammer.
Yeah, Warhammer is gonna come to play in this, final invasion.
100%. And I obviously, it sounds like that Warhammer Titan is fully hectic. I think it's interesting that the Warhammer Titan has it was one of the key Titans that held back, that was one of the key players in the Great Titan War, and therefore the Tybers have the respect of the entire world for stopping the Eldians. like from paradise and locking them in or something like that. So I think that's crazy that how even though all the other Eldians are like under the Marleyans, these Tybers just do whatever the fuck they want. Like that's how powerful the Warhammer Titan is. But somehow now Zeke has got them on board, and now I'm like, I'm just, it was that thing right at the end where the Marleyans said, oh, I don't know what Zeke about saying they're not in this room. That made me think that Zeke was saying, but they said, where is the brass? He said, not in this room, but kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They're still listening, so don't fucking say anything weird. So there's something going on with the Warriors where Zeke's leading them over to paradise for a reason that I can't figure out, because I don't think he's on the team of the Paradise Eldians, but he's definitely not with the Marleyans, but he wants the 9 Titans on paradise for a certain reason. And I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it seems like he wanted to discuss with the other Eldians, without the Morleyans hearing him. Like, he left some kind of special message. I don't know if the other Eldians got it. Reiner definitely kind of picked up, like, okay, Zeke wants to talk to us, without eavesdroppers. So yeah, Zeke now, like, I thought before he was, more straightforward. It's like now he's like very complex. Like, he's not on the side really. And I kind of like, my mind just goes back to when he was talking to Eren. You've been brainwashed by your dad. Like, at first it was like, oh, you're on the other side, obviously, you'll say something like that. But now I don't know if, what side he's really on and if he has Eren's best interests in mind. It's very interesting. I think Zeke will develop, like, what side he's actually on as the season progresses.
Yeah. I think that Zeke actually is on Eren's side. I think he wants to rescue Eren, but I don't know what from, because if he's not brainwashed by Marley, then why does he think Eren's in the wrong? This is where I'm getting confused. Like, why is there all of a sudden this, like, weird, invisible third side that we don't know yet, but Zeke seems to be gunning towards? Because he clearly said that he clearly seems like he dislikes the Paradise Eldians, but now it's clear that he's not loyal to the Marleyans. So I just don't know what's going on there. I really don't, but I think it's going to be super crucial, and I'm making my season 4 episode 2 prediction that now I'm bringing Zeke in. It's going to be Zeke, Gabby, and Eren on a team all together.
I believe Zeke is the smartest person, the smartest character in the story still alive at this point. I believe he has some sort of a plan, and he's probably the only person he's probably loyal to is Eren. Neither Eldians nor Marleyans, just Eren. These two are gonna.
Sorry, man. I've just got to jump off. Hey guys, continue without me. I've just got to jump off. I've got to jump into this other meeting. But guys, thank you so much for listening. I think these two are going to keep riffing about the rest of the episode, but I have to go. I don't think this guy is going to be too pleased if I jump on this meeting late. So peace. Have a wonderful week, and keep the theories coming, guys. Look forward to hearing what you guys chat about next.
Peace.
All right, see you, Randy.
See you guys. Bye.
I want to hear your opinion, actually, Puro, on Zeke.
Yeah, dude, I think Zeke, that's actually, you saying that he's going to be loyal to Eren is actually, I think it's a good point, because I thought, he just betrayed his parents, like, Grisha, he's with the Marleyans, and that's that. But now that he's being so sus with the Marleyans, like, trying to tell Reiner, like, these secret messages and doing all this stuff, I think, yeah, he might actually have Eren's best interests in mind, and I don't know what his, like, end game is, but it doesn't seem to be aligning with, either, Marley or Eldia. Yeah. I don't know, dude. This will definitely be... Also, I wanted to kind of talk about some World War II references that I keep picking these things up, like, as the episodes progress. In the OP, I was, like, reading the lyrics this time around, and at the end, it kind of keeps repeating the words, like, my war. And I thought, that kind of phrase just seemed familiar. I looked up Hitler wrote a book, and it was called Mein Kampf. And, like, it means, like, my struggle or something along those lines, which I guess is kind of similar to, like, my war. And obviously you have the guy looking like Hitler in the beginning of the episode. So they're going strong with like World War II vibes.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's my war, not our war, or not, at least not my people's war. It's just my war.
Yeah.
Could it be Eren saying it's my war? Talking about him going to the dark side. It's my war, not ours.
Yeah. I want to see like now that we've kind of talked, I definitely want to see like a Zeke versus Eren battle now. Like I'm hyped for that. So yeah, I guess. Yeah. What were you saying?
Returning to Zeke for a moment, or a minute, or an hour. I do believe he has a plan in secret. Maybe, you know what? Maybe he has a plan within a plan. He's putting up like he has like a certain face he shows to Marleans. You know, I'm loyal to you. But then he has a secret plan with the Titan shifters, Reiner, Galliard, Peak, and the Warhammer. Maybe not the Warhammer because he wasn't there. Doesn't show up much, I presume. Yeah, he has a secret plan with them. Maybe he's like, at one point, at the right time, at the right place, we're all 9 Titans, we're gonna turn on Marley and we're gonna take our freedom back. But then he has another secret plan that the Titan shifters don't know, which involves Eren. Just him and Eren alone. Zeke being royal blood and Eren having the Fountain Titan would be a good combination. A very powerful combination. So that's one thing that could happen. So he has a plan within a plan.
Yeah. And if if Zeke, we know Zeke is royal blood. If he, gets the Founding Titan, he would be able to,
fuck shit up.
Yeah. Like, he would be able to do whatever he wanted with the walls. He could probably, do whatever. Assuming, like if the will of the original Founding Titan, if that still applies, then I guess he wouldn't be able to really do much.
The thing is, about Zeke, showing a certain face to Marley, him ratting out his parents as a child, was he smart enough as a 7-year-old to think about this sort of plan? Like, giving up his parents, okay, now Marley trusts me a lot, now I can inherit a Titan and all that.
Yeah, I thought, this thought crossed my mind, what if this was, premeditated? What if Zeke kind of earning the respect of the Marleyans, being their golden boy, as, I kind of mentioned earlier? What if that was just, a phase of his plan to maybe gain their trust to then execute whatever he wanted to do? And maybe Grisha told him to do this, but I don't know, I don't think Grisha was capable of, formulating this out. I think maybe his intentions must have changed while he was fighting the wars for Marley.
Unless if Zeke wasn't smart enough back then to come up with this plan when he was writing out his parents, maybe he ratted out his parents because he got future memories and he knew what would happen. So he did it to start a chain of events.
Maybe from the Beast Titan, the past Beast Titan, the one before Zeke. Maybe his memories.
Or the future Beast Titan.
Yeah. I actually, now that I think we're talking about it, I think maybe the past Beast Titan, the old War Chief, I think his memories might have changed Zeke's view on, Marleans versus Eldians. I think that might have caused him to wear this two-face when, talking to the Marleans versus Eldians.
Maybe, that's one possibility as well.
Yeah. Do you think Colt will be an adequate Beast Titan? Do you think he'll be a good leader?
I feel like Zeke is too important to even consider Colt becoming a Beast Titan. Like, what if this story, what if Attack on Titan ends in less than a year before Zeke even dies? What if the whole story just ends before Zeke dies?
Yeah. So you don't think they'll dispatch Zeke and have Colt become the Beast Titan during the series? Like, you
I
don't think
don't
that?
see this happening. Does Zeke have a family? If he does, then his
He has
children
a-
would also have royal blood.
No, it doesn't look like he has children. Or at least they didn't show it. They only showed his grandfather and grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah,
What were you saying?
I'm also like of this same opinion. Like the reason I asked is because Colt, as much as he's a lovable character, like just got drunk on the train, was giving Gabby her props. It doesn't seem like he's war chief material. If I'm being honest. Like I don't think the show can depend on him to be the Beast Titan.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say this. If you're a fan of Colt, he doesn't seem as interesting or as important as Gabby and Falco. Colt dying won't affect the story as much as if Falco or Gabby or Zeke die. So like if Colt dies, then like he's probably the only one in line to inherit the beast. Maybe there's others, I don't know. But if he dies, Zeke is like, I don't know what Zeke will do.
Yeah, and I guess like since we're kind of talking about how like expendable Colt is, if Colt does die and there's not a successor, I guess for the Beast Titan, they would have to pull from one of the 4 like child warriors. So maybe like Gabby would become the Armored Titan, and then Falco would become Beast Titan, and that way both of them would become Titans.
I don't think any of these 4 have like war chief material or commander qualities. But Zeke has less than a year, so unless they just get a random person to eat Zeke, and now they have 13 years to train someone to become the next Beast Titan. That's the only way I can see it. Don't think any of these 4 have the qualities yet.
Yeah, I think for me, I think the 2 things that I think are likely are one of the 4 becomes the Beast Titan, or one of our island Eldians gets the Beast Titan's power. I don't see Colt inheriting the Beast Titan. I don't think he's worthy. Or I guess the third option is it's not relinquished and the series ends with Zeke still as the Beast Titan. I guess that's
what if Zeke puts his hand in Aaron's hand, and then Aaron eats Zeke?
Yeah, Aaron.
Oh boy.
Yeah, what if Aaron just collects all 9 Titans? He just eats everyone.
Yeah, does he become like the new Ymir? Like what's happening?
Yeah, it's like Lord of the Rings type thing. Like you just collect all the Titans and then that would be. I don't see that happening honestly, but that would be interesting.
If that's the case, then Aaron has to eat Armin as well.
Yeah,
Nice, mate.
That'd be pretty funny.
Hey Armin, let me talk to you for a sec. Don't worry, it's not important.
He just devours him.
It kidnaps him.
Yeah. Do you think Armin will be an adequate Colossal Titan?
Did we talk about the episode enough? I feel like we haven't finished all the episode.
Yeah, I think we finished the episode. This is, I guess, just for the future of the season.
Okay. Armin as an adequate. I want to see how this guy trained as the Colossal. Because he had at least 4 years to train as the Colossal.
Yeah.
Remember how in season 1 Eren drops the teaspoon and he accidentally transforms?
Mm-hmm.
If Armin does that inside a building as the Colossal,
He'll kill everyone. Yeah.
like him training is probably like they drop him off in the middle of nowhere. They go away like 200 feet. All right, now you can transform.
Would Aaron even be safe if he transforms next to him?
Hmm. I think everyone would be like eviscerated if he transformed and released so much energy. It's like a nuke.
Yeah. Like, I know the Armored Titan, I guess, like, he would be able to survive, but... yeah.
Hmm. No,
Okay, so I guess...
I'm guessing at this point Armin does have full control of his Titan somewhat.
Yeah, he's at time. So yeah, I guess at this point we can give the episode a rating out of 10. Last week, I gave it a 9, and Yaz gave it an 8.
Yes.
Alright, this week, what are you saying?
This week I'm giving it a 9 because there were no CGI.
Okay, well, actually, there were a few, I guess, like, wonky kind of animation scenes, like when they're walking near the dock.
Did you notice on the dock there was a ship sunken in the background?
Yeah.
What is that about?
I mean, if we're going off the like World War II vibes, maybe it's like an Easter egg for Pearl Harbor or something. I'm not sure.
Maybe it's a symbol to remember we're still in war.
Yeah.
Alright, Reiner has PTSD.
I think for my rating, like, I'm not... So, like, I want to give, obviously, like, every Attack on Titan episode, like, a 8 or above, right? Because it's just... they're great. Yeah, I think I would give this one an 8. I think they're still continuing with world building, which I'm not mad at. I think they still do a good job of, like, developing kind of the culture of the Eldians and Marley, like what they're thinking, kind of the extent to their, like, of their brainwashing. But I still, I guess, would want a more satisfying kind of, like, dialogue between the two. Like, I still want to know, you know, what Zeke and Reiner are thinking. But I guess that's not really the episode's fault. That's just, you know, they can't fit all that in, you know, one episode. But
yeah, also at the end they mentioned there's a festival coming up and the Tibers are gonna announce something. So them mentioning that.
Yeah, that's
mentioning that is not gonna just. They're not gonna just like throw it to the side. It's like something important might happen then.
Yeah. So I guess, like, for me, since I'm more into kind of the action and the dialogue wasn't as satisfying for me, it was a good episode, but I'll rank it at 8. I think I liked last week's episode more.
All right.
All right, sweet. So I guess that concludes this week's podcast. I think later this week I'll be releasing some clips of the, you know, podcast, so you'll be able to see just those moments as well as, you know, our full-length podcast. Tune in next week. We'll be continuing with episode 3. Thanks for watching.
Leave a like, subscribe, all that shenanigans.
Yeah. If you don't subscribe, Yaz will have your head.
I will eat you and become the next Armored.
Okay. All right. Peace.
Peace.